Hello, bonjour, Sanbonani. Welcome to Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. It is so significant to have a positive mindset, especially under these circumstances. So this network has the potential to completely revolutionize every aspect of your life and career. My name is Nompumelelo Riel Kunene, and I'm going to be your host for today. So if you're watching us online, please feel free to put in the chat box where you're watching us from. And if you hope to achieve something from today's podcast, please feel free to put it in the chat box. Today, we are surrounded by greatness in the World Wide Web. We have amazing speakers who's going to share some nuggets on empowerment. In Florida, we have Sonia Mendes, and in Maryland, we have Sid Osley, and in Las Vegas, we have Diana Silva. At this moment, I will let our speakers introduce themselves before we get started. So go ahead, Sonia. We can't hear you, Sonia. We can't hear you. Sonia, unmute yourself.
I thought I did that earlier. All right. Well, everyone, my name is Sonia. I'm a martial artist. I'm a 5th degree black belt. I own my own martial arts school, and I've dedicated my life to teaching the importance of perseverance and living a happy, healthy life. Martial arts showed me so much about living, and you can really, what you learn on that mat, you can implement to your life by living that happy, healthy life. So again, thank you for having me here today. Looking forward to being here with all of you today, sharing our passion on empowerment.
Thank you, Sonia. Sid, you can go ahead.
I'm Sid Owsley. I'm the host of the Determination Determines Destination podcast, The 3Ds to Success. I'm a certified Les Brown motivational speaker. Last week, I was on the Les Brown Power Summit, speaking with 19 other speakers. That was a great honor. I was also in the Main Seed Mastermind event about a month ago in Alpharetta, Georgia, hosted by Mr. John Ugulu. So I've had the honor and privilege of being at some great speaking events, and I thank Nompumelelo for having me on her podcast.
Thank you. Diana, you can go ahead.
I am Diana. I am living currently in the last 13 years in the city of Las Vegas, Nevada, and I am from LA, California. I have been for the last 8 years serving my community as a residential or real estate agent here in Las Vegas. And it is just such a privilege and an honor to be on here with all of you on this platform. And I am just so super excited. And thank you so much. I'm looking forward to what everyone has here for your empowerment. Thank you.
Amazing, amazing. So our first speaker is going to be Sonia Mendes. Sonia has over 30 years of experience in the martial arts. She is the founder and owner of Symmetry Martial Arts and Always a Ninja clothing brand. She believes in the benefits that martial arts can provide people in the form of self-confidence, physical fitness, and the courage to be your authentic self. Sonia loves sharing her passion for empowerment and the spirit of never giving up. She often runs empowerment seminars for groups, organizations, and sports teams to teach self-defense, strength, and unity. So kings and queens, help me to welcome Sonia Mendes.
Thank you again, Nompumelelo. Thank you so much for having me here today. Well, as I told you before, I've been doing martial arts for about 30 years, but before I became this deadly little ninja, I was quite different. I was a young girl, didn't have that much confidence with me, skinny little thing. And in my years of 18 through 21, I had a stalker that lasted about 4 months, leaving notes on my car after work late at night. Didn't know who it was, all sorts of poems. And when I finally found out who it was, he started coming into my place of business, waiting after work, calling nonstop. And it finally stopped when I called the police. It was really scary because in his mind, he believed that we were going to be together and that I loved him. Fast forward, a couple years go by, nothing too out of ordinary. I moved, but I was having these roses being left on my car with no note or anything. And I thought to myself, is that him? But I was living 45 minutes away. So didn't find out who it was. To this day, I still don't know who it was leaving those poems on my car, or the roses on my car. Fast forward, I moved back home, pretty local. At first time, I have no roommates. I always had roommates. So this was my first time getting an apartment by myself, and I was super excited. Well, I come home after a night of work, and it's probably about 11 o'clock at night. I go into my apartment and I turn the lights off in the front, and I go towards my back bedroom. And normally I would just jump in the shower right away, but I had a fish tank. So my fish had babies. So it stopped, and I was looking at this fish tank, just admiring all of this. And 20 minutes probably go by, and I hear this jiggling at the front door. And I looked down the hallway from my bedroom to the front door, and you could see actually the knob moving around. And I'm looking, and I'm almost anticipating that door to open. So as I walked towards that door, I grabbed this stun gun that a friend of mine had given me from the stalker that I had. So I go towards the front door, and I look out the window, and I see a man that lives in my building, my apartment complex, and he lives 20 feet away. And he's got these little shorts on, he's got no shirt on, tattoos all over his body, and he's got this big old screwdriver, and he is just digging at that front door to open it. And my mind's kind of, is this really happening? Oh my God, you almost want to deny it. So as I'm watching him, and I yell, I said, "What do you want?" And then he stops digging for a second. He looks up, and then he starts digging at the door again. And I yell, "I'm calling the police." He stops one more time, and then he starts going at the door again. And I yell for the final time. I said, "I'm calling the police." But by the time the police get there, he's gone. He's nowhere to be found. They go to his apartment. They knock on his door. No answer. They come back to my apartment. They go through the whole apartment. They start checking the windows, the doors, everything's secure. They sit me down, and they proceed to tell me that this man was in prison for rape before, and they believe that I am not going to be safe living there on my own. I'm out of there. I moved. It only took one day to pack all my stuff, and I was gone. So now I get a roommate, because I'm not going to live by myself again. No way. But I'm building all of that fear again, where, wow, there's just bad people out there. Someone's either watching me or trying to get me. Now I'm home. It's during the day. My roommate is gone. I'm not sure where she's at, but I'm thinking I'm safe. It's about 4 o'clock. The sun is still shining. I take a shower, and I get out of my shower. I go into my bedroom, and I have all my clothes laid out, my pants and my shirt. And I drop my towel, and I put my pants on. And all of a sudden, I see something move out of the corner of my eye, and it's those blinds, and it was broken, so you can kind of see in. And as I'm looking over there, as the moment, I think to myself, oh, I put a plant there. And then all of a sudden, no, that you moved that plant. And then as I'm thinking that, I can see this man's face just come into full focus. And at that point, my heart just dropped. It dropped all the way to my feet, and that adrenaline dump just went through my body, because what I was thinking is that I had a sliding glass door that went into the screen porch area that went into my house. I had thought I left that door open for my dog. The last time when that convicted rapist tried to break in, the police officer told me, "Get yourself a dog and take some self-defense lessons." Well, I wasn't ready for the self-defense lessons, but my family bought me the dog. So I had the dog during this time. So I'm thinking the sliding glass door is open. And in my mind, I go into that fetal position, and my body naturally went into that. I just went into that little ball. So in my mind, I'm thinking he's coming through that sliding glass door. He's coming all the way into that bedroom, and he's going to attack me. So all the fears that I had of, the stalker, the convicted rapist, the roses, all of these things were piling up on me. And that fear just paralyzed me. I physically could not move my body. And I'm talking to myself, going, "Sonia, call 911, call 911. And that's all that I was saying over in my head. And as I'm in this fetal position, I'm just mustering it all in my might to just reach for that phone. I get the phone, I call 911, and they are there within minutes. Police were amazing. They were there within minutes. They get there, the guy is gone. So they go by my window and you can see his footprints all through the window. Next night, my roommate's home. I have an extra friend over too, and we're sitting on the couch and my back is towards the sliding glass door. And all I could see is my friend sitting there with, her eyes looking this way. And all of a sudden you just see her eyes get really big and she goes, "He's back." So now he's at that door. We freak out. We call 911. Police are there. They don't find him. Next night, they decide to do a stakeout, meaning that they want to catch this guy. So I had to call them after I was done with work, and the police would get into position in the backyard to hopefully find him when he comes back. They did it for about a week, and they didn't find him. So they go on about their business. I have to go on about my business, living my life. I come home from another night from the restaurant business and I am smelling like a pizza. Not that I don't love the smell of pizza, but I just wanted to take a shower. And I was paralyzed again. And I sat on that couch because my roommate wasn't home. And there was no way that I'm going to put myself in that position of having, changing my clothes and having someone violate me in that way. So I would not get into the shower. And I just sat on that couch and I sat there. I didn't watch TV. I couldn't do anything except cry because I was at my bottom. I couldn't live like that. And I'm normally a happy-go-lucky kind of person. I love humans. And at that point, I didn't want to talk to humans. I didn't trust them. I was just really losing my spirit. So I sat there crying and thinking to myself, I have to do something. No one's going to rescue me. What can I do? So as I'm sitting there, I think, I have a friend that's a police officer. So I called him. I started doing privates with him, and we worked self-defense and scenario training. And it was super helpful. Helped me, in situations that you wouldn't even think you would find yourself in. He helped me work through all of those. And then I also went back to martial arts. I had done martial arts as a kid, but stopped when my instructor closed his school. So I went back to martial arts, and I remember going into this school after all of this has happened. And I go in there and I'm sitting with the head instructor and I'm at his desk, and all he's trying to do is sell me on this long-term agreement. I think it was a 4 or 5 year contract. And he's like, black belt, black belt, black belt. And he's just running his mouth about this black belt. And I just look at him. I said, listen, I don't care about a black belt. All I want to do is take a shower in my own home if no one is home. Years later, I'm testing for my 1st degree black belt, and I am feeling so good. I'm able to take a shower in my own home if nobody's home. I'm really working through all of those fears. Years later, I test for my 2nd, and then my 3rd, and then my 4th. And then years later, today, I have over 30 years of martial arts experience in my life. I'm a 5th degree black belt, a Krav Maga instructor, a blue belt in Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, and I own my own martial arts school. And I like to say that I'm changing the world one ninja at a time. So being a martial artist did so much for me. And I could sit here for hours and talk to you about all of the amazing benefits that martial arts has taught me. But the one main thing that I want to speak to you today about is facing your fears. For me, that fear paralyzed me, and it showed me how fear can physically paralyze you, that you cannot get up. And now fear comes in many different forms, right? It can paralyze us in every avenue of our lives. And that's what it did. It started seeping into everything, changing my spirit, changing everything. So when I made that choice and that decision and to take action for my own life, everything changed for me. My fear was someone was going to attack me. Someone was going to kill me. Someone was going to rape me, get on top of me, in between my legs. And the thought of that, again, paralyzed my body. So as I started working these defenses and then learning, all right, well, if someone chokes me, I know what to do, right? If someone gets me in here, then I started building that confidence. And then as my physical confidence started going, then my outside confidence started going. My posture got better. My voice got stronger. And then I remember thinking, wow, okay, what is the worst thing that could ever happen to you? Well, someone physically can harm you, right? That's the ultimate thing, that someone could violate us that way. Well, I felt pretty strong knowing these self-defenses, and now my voice started getting stronger. So then I started looking at my whole life. I'm like, well, why do I have this person in my life that's talking to me with disrespect, right? So then my voice started getting stronger, saying, no, I don't like that, or no, I don't want that in my life, or yes, I'll have more dessert, right? So getting that strong kind of voice, no matter what, and owning who I am. And for me, that's what martial arts did. It went to every avenue of my life, teaching me to be that fighter, because in life, you have to be a fighter. Horrible things happen. The world can be dark, but it also can be amazing and filled with light, like people that I'm sharing this platform with. And I think it's a beautiful thing, but we have to fight to keep going with that, because so many things will try to tear us down. So when we face that fear and we go through it with amazing people, great support system, anything is possible. And we start using that and we start sharing it with the world. And so as I started addressing that fear and facing those fears, I grew in so many ways. So I love to share that empowerment, that if you want a happier life, you've got to do things that are going to make you smile, right? If you want to be healthier, you got to start moving your body. If you want to think positive, start training your mind. You have to stop making those excuses and really start facing those fears in front of you. Because once you face those fears, everything is so possible. All of your dreams, your hopes, everything is for you if you can just push through those fears. So for me, again, my big thing that I wanted to share from you guys is to face those fears, channel that inner ninja of you, and never give up. Keep moving forward. We live our best lives when we're living that true, authentic life, right? We can share our gifts, our everything that we have with other people to make this world a better place. During COVID, if it hasn't shown us that all this is really hard, our mental wellness is one of the most important things, our physical body. So work that mind, body, and spirit, and never give up. So today, again, thank you so much for having me, and channel that inner ninja. Thank you, guys.
Wow, wow. Thank you so much, Sonia, for sharing such a powerful message.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing things that you've learned from being a ninja. I think I'll have to apply this in my personal life to survive any fear. And thanks for sharing the ninja tips on living a happy and a healthy life. You've mentioned strong mind, strong body, strong spirit, and strong support system. Wow, that was amazing. Thank you so much, Sonia. Yes, so our next speaker right now is going to be Sid Owsley. Sid Owsley, he lives in Burtonsville, Maryland. He is a former U.S. Marine and a former deputy sheriff. He holds a bachelor's degree in Homeland Security and Emergency Management. He is also a certified Les Brown speaker, as well as being featured in the Power Voice Speaker Summit for Les Brown. Mr. Owsley has several certifications in digital marketing, and he owns the digital marketing agency, Kuruju's Digital Marketing Agency. He believes in being at the forefront of trends and technology. So he is also a certified blockchain professional, CBCP, by helping companies learn about the benefits of implementing blockchain technology. He's also the host for Determination Determines Destination podcast. And also he has been to several podcasts as a guest. He enjoys traveling, reading, working out, and sharing a good meal with friends. So you can find Sid Owsley at sidowsley.com, and on social media, he's also available. So kings and queens, help me to welcome Sid Owsley.
It's great being here today. Thank you, Nompumelelo. And I just want to say I've been to your country, Swaziland, a beautiful, beautiful place. Love being there. And matter of fact, I hope to go back to Southern Africa very soon. But again, my name is Sid Owsley. And as a Les Brown certified motivational speaker, I speak on what I call the 3 Ds to success: determination, determines, destination. And many times when people talk about achieving their goals, they use the word motivation. And many times they will go to workshops and seminars, and they're there with, a couple of hundred other people. And in that atmosphere is very emotionally charged. And so you're all working on the same thing. So there's a lot of energy in the room and you're very motivated. But once you leave that event and you go back home and you're paying your bills, you're going back to work and you're sitting in traffic and you're by yourself, you're no longer in that group. And it's time for you to apply what you learned in that workshop. Many times people say these 3 words: I'm not motivated. You're no longer motivated because you're not in that emotionally charged atmosphere anymore. And so that's when what I call the 3Ds to success, determination determines destination, has to kick in. Your determination to achieve your goals and dreams has to kick in whether you're motivated or not. Nobody really feels like doing things outside of their comfort zone when it comes to achieving their goals, but you have to be determined to achieve your goals. You have to look beyond your comfort zone, what you're used to doing in order to achieve your goals and dreams. And so motivation is what gets you started, but determination is what keeps you going. And many people in life who are very successful have used what I call the 3Ds to success: determination determines destination, to achieve their own goals. People like Michael Jordan, as many people know, he was cut from his high school basketball team at the age of 15. And he could have let that absolutely crush him. He could have let that been the end of his career at that time. As a 15-year-old, he could have never played basketball again. But instead, he decided to be determined. He decided to prove his coach wrong. And he decided to determine his own destination in life. And we all know that his ultimate destination became going to the NBA, becoming a 6-time world champion, and becoming arguably the greatest NBA player in history. Another example of the 3Ds, determination determines destination, is a athlete by the name of Mo Farah. Mo Farah was a runner in the 2016 Olympics in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And in that 10,000 meter race, he actually fell down during that race. And he could have allowed that setback to set the tone for the rest of the race for him. But not only did he get up, not only was he determined to get up and finish the race, he actually came back and won that race. He won the gold medal. And so it took a lot of determination for him to determine his destination after a setback on the greatest stage for an Olympic athlete. Being in the Olympics, he falls down, he comes back and wins. Another great example is the leaders of the civil rights movement. They were determined to determine the destination of the United States. They wanted to show everyone that people of all races, colors, and creeds could live together and work together. And so they were determined to change the attitude and change the policies and laws of this country to make things better for everybody. And it took a lot of determination to determine the destinations of this country, a lot of literal blood, sweat, and tears to do that. And so in my own life, I use these principles. I use them on a daily basis because you do have setbacks and challenges every day. So in my own life, when I was 18 years old, I went into the Marine Corps. And on the very first day in Marine Corps boot camp, the drill instructor, he walks out and he literally says, "This is my island. And the fastest way to get off of my island is to graduate." And so at that very moment, I had to decide that I was going to be determined enough to determine my own destination and become a U.S. Marine. And so 13 weeks later, that's exactly what happened. I walked across the parade field in Parris Island, South Carolina, and I became a U.S. Marine. And not everyone made it. Not everyone was as determined or focused. And those of us that did make it, we were extremely determined that we were going to become U.S. Marines. And another instance in my life was when I wanted to learn a business from someone. I wanted to have a mentor. And I was actually in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I was on vacation, and I was in a restaurant, and this guy walked into the restaurant, and I heard him tell someone else that he had been in Rio for about 6 months. He made about $300,000 in his business. He had just been hanging out. And I said to myself, I need to find out what this guy does, because I want to be able to hang out like that and make good money for my business and, be somewhere for 6 months at a time. And so we exchanged information, and he would tell me a little bit about the business, but he would never tell me enough to really put the pieces together to make money. And so it took about 3 years of talking to him on the phone every once in a while and seeing him every time I would go to Brazil. And I would ask him about this business every time. And after about 3 years, he told me literally, he said, you know what, man, you are so determined. I'm going to teach you this business. And he told me, hey, you have to come to Chicago. And I told him, no problem. I will be there. And 3 weeks later, I was in Chicago, and I wound up sleeping on his office floor for about 3 days. And I was eating at this place called Harold's Chicken in Chicago. Anybody that's from Chicago knows about Harold's Chicken, especially if you're from the South Side. You can forget KFC. I go to Harold's Chicken anytime I'm in Chicago. And so for 3 days, I slept on his office floor, and ate Harold's Chicken, and I learned the business because I was very, very determined. And I learned that business. I made great money from it, and it helped me in other ventures in life. And I actually did wind up taking a 6-month vacation, a 6-month tour through mostly Southern Africa. And that's when I went to Nampumelo's country. During that time, I went through 6 countries in Africa. I was actually there when they had the World Cup. It's the best trip I've taken so far in life, and I hope to do it again soon. But by having that determination, I was able to achieve something that I really wanted to do, and it worked out for me. And so another instance, I even use it doing something fun, like when I wanted to go hang gliding. I was again in Rio, and I saw some friends had posted on Facebook that they were also there in Rio de Janeiro. And so I contacted them and said, hey, I'm here too. And we got together because they were only a few minutes away from me. So I walked over to the hotel, and it was a husband and wife. And the wife says, hey, we're going hang gliding tomorrow. I said, I'm going to go with you because I've always wanted to do that. I just get caught up down here and I never do it. So I said, I'm going to go with you guys tomorrow. And so we wind up going to this place, and we're standing on this cliff that's so high that I could actually, when I was looking down, I could actually see the birds were flying below me. We were up so high. The trees, the tops of the trees, the jungle canopy was below me. And I started getting a little scared. I was like, man, I don't know, this, we're up pretty high. And I said to myself, well, I'm determined, I'm going to do this. But I had to change something. I had to raise my vision up and look out over the horizon instead of looking down. The instructor had already told us not to look down, but it was too late. But I had to focus on where I wanted to go instead of focusing on my fears. And so when it came time to run down the platform, we ran down and jumped off the cliff, had a successful flight, and everything worked out fine. And that instance taught me that using my determination, that even when I was afraid of something or something was wrong, that I could change my perspective on that situation and still achieve my goals. And so I want people to know, my message is that by using the 3Ds to success, by being determined in the face of setbacks and fears, you can still achieve your goals no matter what. I want people to know that this is their time, that if they commit, that they'll be able to share their unique gifts and talents with the world. They will be able to leave a legacy for their family, and they'll make a positive change in this world, especially during this time of the COVID epidemic, the political uncertainty, the financial uncertainty, people are losing their jobs. This is the time when your voice, your unique gifts and talents, your unique products and services are needed in this time for people to be able to make it through, to have some hope and realize their own unique gifts and talents. And so that is my message. That's my story. I'm sticking to it, as my mentor Les Brown says. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Sid. Thank you so much for sharing such a powerful message on the 3Ds to success. And guys, if you haven't been to Sid podcast on Facebook, Determination Determines Destination, I recommend this podcast. Like I think he goes on live weekly, but check with him. It's so amazing. It's so inspirational. It's so empowering. So please do visit Sid's podcast on Facebook. Thank you so much, Sid. I'm taking the 3 Ds to success: determination, determines, destination, and I will apply it into my life. And I believe all the audience are watching and they will apply it to their lives too. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
So our next speaker is going to be Diana Silva. Diana Silva is a resilient Latina powerhouse from the University of Hard Knocks. From her abuse as a child and having to overcome her past with a strong belief in positive thoughts, to the fighter in her to strongly believe that no one has to be a victim of their past. She knows, being a Latina from South Central LA, that the expectations are not much, but she refused and still refuses to be a statistic. With all the odds against her and no card in her favor, she has gone against the grain to let every young Latina know that they can do anything if they put their mind to. With a strong sense of humor, silliness, and with a lot of laughter, not taking even the worst situations too seriously, and smiling to create a positive outlook. She believes, like Frida said, here I'm going to be tested with my Spanish, soy el tipo de mujer que si quiero la luna, me la bajo yo solita. It means I am the type of woman that if I want the moon, I will bring it down myself. She wants to convey her message in her words, in her passion for helping others. She suffered a lot of depression, failed suicide attempts, and self-destruction growing up, to know that when not dealing with trauma, it can really be harmful to oneself and to others around you. As she started gaining her power through her 9 lives, there was no way God allowed her to go through that experience in vain. Life is not easy, and she doesn't pretend it is. She is raw, she is real, and she has a ray of sunshine that no one or no cloud can take despite the odds. Her contagious laugh will have you believe that there is nothing that you can't overcome in life. She dares you to repeat after her, I refuse to be a victim of my past. I refuse to be a victim of my past. So kings and queens, help me to welcome Diana Silva. We can't hear you.
Again, it's such a privilege to be on here. And your Spanish, you did a great job. That was good. And if anything, everyone knows that Frida Kahlo is someone that I completely look up to. And that is one of my favorite quotes that she has. And it is where, si yo soy la tipa de mujer, que si quiero la luna, me la bajo yo sola, which meaning, again, it is exactly what you said, which is, I'm the type of woman that if I want the moon, I'll bring it down myself. I am hearing all these stories and everything you guys bring, and it's just amazing to be on a platform with amazing people. And it's great to know that, we are all on the same mission, which is to empower people and give them the strength and the power to be able to keep going during this time and during this year, and just in any time. But most definitely, this would probably be considered one of the most trying times in the world. We're all going through it. Can you imagine that we actually are all going through the same thing? We're all going through a pandemic. We all come with different experiences, and this is when we get to shine through and really show who we are. And it's incredible to see the kind of power, strength, resilience, love, and everything that has come out of this. And the reason for that is because when we're really tested, you guys, it is really when we get to really see the human spirit. And it is amazing to see what is coming out of it. Yes, there is a lot of doubt. There is a lot of uncertainty that has transpired through the year. And with that, even I was challenged. I decided to make a full-on leap on my own as a business owner. And I have been blessed for the last few years to be able to have my own business as a real estate agent here in Las Vegas. The reason for it is because I grew up in a very interesting upbringing. And what I wanted to see as I grew up, I knew that there was just something more out there. And I can sit here and tell you all about the abuse and all of the things that really tested me. And they really did. They brought down the spirit. As a little girl, I wouldn't wish what I experienced, not even on my worst enemy's kids. But I just knew something deep down inside, this was not the end and this was not my story. And something as a little girl just said, just keep on going. You just have to keep on taking it until you can't or you don't have to. So there goes little Diana, all little funny, right? At 12 years old, I start running away from home because I'm running away from something, right? I don't want to be part of it. Can you imagine? Imagine that, a 12-year-old saying, I don't want to live here anymore. Now, this is not to talk about anyone in my household. I come from a great, interesting family. But even then, in our families, the one thing that I hope that we can gain from this is to break any silences that need to be spoken about, and hope that we can deal with them in a way that allows us to grow from it. And there I was running away from home, running away. And finally, as I became of age, or maybe just a little bit younger than that, about 17, I started living on my own. And I thought, okay, I'm broken free, and I'm now going to live my life. I no longer have to be living in circumstances that I don't want to be in. Well, yes, I managed to do that on my own. I managed to still support myself and just start working. I didn't know what I was doing. I had no idea what I was going to do. All I knew is that I had 2 hands, 2 feet, eyes, ears, mouth. I can talk, I can speak, and I'm going to work and support myself. Well, through that and through all of these things, as you start getting older, I never really ran away from the problem. The problem was right here. It was deep seated. All the experiences that we gain as children, as people, as our environment that we're surrounded by, it really, really embeds into ourselves. And then you have to question the programming that I have. Is this really the right way? I then had, in 2003, I had my son, who is now 17, and I can't believe it. And he, in itself, just being present, this little soul had been around before, and he had a mission. And that mission was to introduce himself to me again and remind me of why I was here. So there I had to be a mom, and there I still had to continue working on myself. And through all these things that were considered working on myself, what really is that? And don't we sometimes wake up? Yes, life is beautiful. Yes, we have, Sonia, you shared, you work through these things and you make things work. We all have something to move forward towards. And yet in there is something that we still have to work through our mind. And the question is are we working through it logically, or are we working in an emotional state of mind? And that is one of the things that I've learned through the years, that when we are in an emotional state of mind, it is when we are not thinking necessarily correctly. Yes, you still want to love and you want to give. I love the world and life is beautiful. But in there, even then, those emotions can get the best of us. And so I say, proaction over reaction, proaction over reaction, proaction over reaction. Okay, Diana, stop reacting. Why? I don't know about you guys, but there's many times that we're tested. And when we're tested, our emotions get the best of us. And when they get the best of us, fear comes in. Anything comes in that we can't control. And if we can't control it, that means that we are no longer thinking correctly, straightforward. There has to come a time where we have to look at ourselves and say, hey, pump the brakes for a second. Take a deep breath and just stop. And what do you really want to do with what's happening right now in your body, in your mind, in your feelings? And the question is snap out of it. And that is a brain, that is a muscle, that is a practice. when you feel like your emotions are getting the best of you. And Sonia, I know you know this because this is part of what you do, is being able to control where you're at and still being able to think straight and logically. I've been tested many times. Like you said, I have failed suicide attempts. I know for a fact, I am here for a reason. The pain that I have suffered, the pain that I have gone through was not in vain. I am here to let people know, women know, children know, that no matter what it is that we go through, we can really conquer it. How? You have to really dig deep and really ask yourself, do I really enjoy being upset and sad all the time? Because the world does get to us. It will test us in one of the most craziest ways, especially right now. And the question is, we don't have to suffer. We really do have control. And a lot of us always usually think that we don't have control. I didn't think I had control. I was self-destructive. I was doing the most. And it was everything that I liked. Why did I like it? I had to ask myself, why do I like all this self-destruction? I'm here crying. I'm sad. I'm upset. I don't like this, but I like it. I'm attracted to it. I keep going to it. Well, then I had to dig deep as to where this was rooted and set from. It was set from what I was taught and what I was programmed to think. And I am no longer thinking and looking at it like, okay, well, that did happen to me. Yes. You might think I'm Latina. I'm a statistic. This little girl right here won't get too far. She's already done all the self-destructive things that we already expect from a girl from South Central LA. But the more that I saw and the more that I felt people looked at me like that, it was just more like, bring it. I like that challenge. That challenge to me is awesome. Why? Because now I'm no longer a statistic in your eyes. I'm now someone that has to push through the things that most people wouldn't be able to push through sexual abuse, through mental abuse, through emotional abuse. All those things lead us to what? Lead us to self-destruction. Not here. No way. I have a son who I have to set an example for. And I have a family that I believe that we can break generational curses. And because of that, I knew when my parents bought a home 30 years ago, I said, gosh, I wish I was more informed to be able to help them. Not only that, my parents came here regardless of their circumstances, regardless of whatever it is that I was mad about. They still came here with a dream. And that dream allowed me, first generation, to be born here and have something to seek out for. And through these experiences, I wanted to really help people live that American dream. And what is that? Is to buy and or sell homes. And I know that sounds so materialistic, so surface. Deep down in that, there is something more deeper than that. And that is the American dream. That is the dream of being able to pass that down to generations, to our children. And being a minority, we have not many options or information given to us the way people should be given to, or the way that it's accessible. Through those statistics and through that pain, I decided to get my real estate license here in Las Vegas. I have been living here for 13 years. I've been licensed for the last 8. I was a coach, a trainer, and a business coach for our real estate agents. We talk about fear, huh? I did everything I could to train and coach these agents, and I loved it. I loved helping. It felt so good to be able to put something in someone else and help them get through their struggles or whatever it was. But as I encountered that, I encountered my own fear, which was, well, can I do real estate? I know I can coach. I know I can help. Well, this is where the leap of faith comes in, and you almost have to just close your eyes and just take a leap of faith. And I've taken many leaps of faith, like that 12-year-old little girl that started running away from home. The leap of faith was, I don't want to be here and I have to find somewhere else to go. And with that, I'm always looking for a home. So what a coincidence that I'm now always looking for homes for other people. And with that, I have been blessed to not only help people buy homes and be first-time home buyers, being able to sell their home and put not only money in their pocket, but the assets that they build for whatever it is that they're working towards. that in itself has allowed me to see the vision that you really can help people in so many ways, whether it's in educating them in finances. Really, at the end, what it's really for is feeding the soul, feeding the human spirit, and allowing people to believe and live out their dreams. I know that many people did not expect for me to be where I'm at today. And not that that even matters to me anymore. In the beginning, it did, is what tested me. It's what pushed me this way. Now, all I want to do is continue doing what I'm doing, which is helping. I want to be able to help and give women and children and anyone that has been victimized by child abuse, emotional abuse, or any type of abuse a voice in breaking the silence of what they have experienced. The human spirit can be broken in many ways. And it is very scary sometimes that people sometimes at 40, 50, 60 years old, they still continue, they sometimes pass and never were able to fulfill their lives because of the pain that controlled them since they were whatever it is that they went through. And there is no way that I want anyone to ever believe that that is their story. It's not. I, like you said, and thank you so much for sharing that, I refuse to be a victim of my circumstances. I refuse to be a victim of my past. And that's something that I actually say to myself in the mirror. And eventually, whether you believed it, or in this case, I believed it in the beginning, I knew that eventually I had to believe it. And now I just simply believe it. I want everyone to know that there is a way to conquer that. I spoke to high school students this week, and I was blessed to be able to speak to them this week. And all of them asked the same question. Well, how do you do it, Diana? How do you motivate yourself? How do you get yourself out of that? You know, our kids are really hurting right now. And I heard voices this week, and they really need us to really transfer that love and spirit into them. And what I'm trying to really convey is that it's deeper than that. It's a deep-seated feeling that you have to dig deep in there and say, I got this. Yes, we can motivate. Yes, we can be determined. Yes, we can work through it. But at the end of it, it's our human spirit that has to be conditioned to believe that we can. And so one of the things that I really want to dare everyone to do is just look in the mirror and know that I got this. If you can look in the mirror and let yourself know, I got this, and continue moving forward with whatever it is that you have in your life, it's from I got this. Nothing's going to stop me. I am unstoppable. I will always rise to the occasion, and I will not be a victim of my circumstances. That's my story, and I'm just sticking to it.
Wow. Wow. That was a beautiful story and empowering too. Thank you so much, Diana. Thank you so much. You've mentioned that our minds will always be stronger than our feelings if we train the muscle. That this is profound on its own. And you also mentioned that we rise to the occasion when we force ourselves to smile, when we force ourselves to think with gratitude. Wow, wow. And then at the end, you've mentioned that affirmations do work if we believe in them. And I do believe in affirmations day by day. The moment I wake up, I just tell myself, I am this, I am that, and I believe in it. Thank you. Thank you so much, Diana, for sharing such a profound message. And I'm going to be the next speaker. So yes, I'll introduce myself. And I began to like it, like with the podcast, like talking about myself through and through. I was like, yes, I love it. So my name is Nompumelelo Rial Kunene. I am an energetic professional speaker and an author to Rise to Greater Heights book, which is a comprehensive guide to turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. I am also a mentor coach, well known for encouraging many to rise from mediocrity into greatness. I believe that we're in full control of our choices. So my title, Rise to Greater Heights, has inspired and empowered many to pursue their personal and professional passion to become go-getters. As I wear many hats as a professional certified sales manager, esthetician, philanthropist, and a commissioner for arts, following my dreams, it gave me a purpose to see my goals through and understand that I have everything around me to reach to my full potential. My everyday message is that your journey to be a better person starts with you. So knowing who you are to your core will make you understand that you are the only one who can make your dreams come true today. I believe in Hebrews 11, Psalms 27, and Psalms 40 because they keep me to rise to greater heights. So our viewers online, please feel free to put in a chat box if you have any questions for our amazing speakers today. And we're going to attend to those questions at the end of the podcast. But before I continue, I just want to double check if I'm in the right platform here. How many of you with a raise of hand can say that, Nompumelelo, I have never, ever complained in life? Never, ever complained in life. Okay, seemingly I am in the right platform here because sometimes in life we go complaining about everything. Or the weather is really bad today. Traffic was worse than expected. My family drives me crazy sometimes. Or the movie was really disappointing, you name it. Though whining can be a way to build an inspiration, it can also keep us from acting. And it gives excuses time to procrastinate to achieve goals. One thing I've realized is that we usually complain in the wake of a negative situation. We tend to focus more on the problem than finding potential solutions. It is so much easier to complain than to find potential solutions. And individuals who whine on a regular basis, they're up to have a bad health. So next time we'll find you complaining that, why do pizzas come in square boxes, yet they are round? And funny enough, they are cut in triangles. Does that sound like you? Yeah, please write this down. Personal empowerment. Personal empowerment. No one is born feeling self-empowered. If we want to make a difference in this world of possibility, cooperation, and success, we need to work to make a significant change. Confidence is learned by giving yourself the juice you need to accomplish your goals and live your dreams. If I may ask you, how many of you have goals and dreams that maybe you want to achieve in the next coming year, maybe in the next 6 months? As you think about your dreams and goals that you want to achieve, I want you to write this down. Rise to greater heights. Rise to greater heights, because you can empower yourself by focusing on what you can control and your commitment to keeping an objective and empowerment mindset. It can take a while, but you can start today to inch your way to become self-empowered and love what you do so deeply that you are able to include others in your dream and empower them in their success stories, in their successful life. Our mindset can instantly change from being negative to positive with patience and determination. So to live an empowered life of great significance, we need to create both the internal and external conditions that will support us in making the biggest impact. I so wish you can tell yourself today that, you know what, I'll have to make a difference within me. I'll have to make a difference to those around me. I'll have to make a difference in my community. To those who look at me as an inspiration, I have to make a difference. But in order for you to do that, you've got to be hungry. You've got to be hungry like the hungry lion in the jungle. With that lion, honestly, it doesn't matter what kind of animal comes his way. It doesn't matter if you're that giant elephant or that small squirrel by the jungle. All that hungry lion sees in front of him is lunch. Lunch. And I believe that's the mindset that we need for us for our personal empowerment. Because empowerment, it means that you don't crumble under failure. If your individual life is empowered, it can only have an empowering impact on all those who surround you. And during challenging moments, you'll have to love what you do so deeply, that there will be no hardship that will take you from your desired direction, and focus on what you gain from the experience rather than on what you lose. Nobody feels perfect, but some of us, we do magnify our flaws more than others. So you can connect with your daily reminders that you are strong and capable in many ways. Like Diana says, that affirmations do work if you believe in them. You need to empower yourself to create meaningful change with the grace and start to shine more brightly. My everyday inspiration pastor, Stephen Fettig, he once said, be governed by your calling, not your circumstances. Honestly, this message to me, it stirred something within me. And I decided to run my own race. You need to run your own race. You'll have to give yourself an opportunity to really experience your initial response. This is your life, good people. So focus on your own race. Another person's success does not equate to you as a failure. When you downplay your strengths to others, you may end up internalizing this message and underestimating your power. You will lose track of the importance of what you're doing if you worry about the competition around you. You need to encourage yourself in the same way that you hold to a close friend. Please write this down. Trust yourself. Trust yourself. Trust empowers you to move aggressively towards your goals. So you need to understand where your responsibility ends and someone else's begins, then immerse yourself in learning everything you need to know about your interest. You are responsible for your own happiness. So if you spend your time doubting your skills, then you can't contribute to the happiness, because the only thing you will be actively perfecting is your ability to doubt yourself. You must show yourself that you have what it takes to be the resourceful when going to your goals, because knowledge will give you the control and power you need to help you to be the best version of yourself. As flight attendants always say that you'll have to put on your oxygen mask first before you assist someone else, because if you don't, you and the other person you're trying to assist could possibly go down. So you'll have to shift all that time focusing on doubting yourself to believing in yourself. You can start by trying one idea and put it into action. Accepting our limitations can help us come close to meeting our full potential, good people. You will learn to trust yourself and care about your ideas more deeply through taking calculated risk that can drive results at the end. So trust that you have what it takes to get the job done and how to transition from each station. You also have to love what you do, like I've mentioned, because love is the most powerful of all the emotions. Try to think about what kind of things that makes you happy and do something expressive every day. Trust that you will be the best of what inspires your heart the most, which is why truly empowered people work in careers they love. It has to be something you enjoy. So it is best for you to focus on one or two things that you can do very well, and then commit yourself fully to that cause. Because in life, honestly, unexpected circumstances may knock you down, or they can redirect your path. But if you need to consider how you can best make a difference in yourself, in those around you. So for you to do that, you'll have to focus on issues that speak to your heart. The more you feel and see yourself making a difference, that is the gift God has given it to you. So make sure to pursue it full empowered. So good people, this is a wake-up call. This is a wake-up call, but please, when that alarm clock goes off, please, don't ever hit the snooze button. I know what I'm talking about here. Don't be like, I'll wake up in the next 2 minutes. I'll wake up in the next 4 minutes. You know what? Forever is a long time. Why don't you wake up, get going, and empower yourself? You'll have to embrace imperfect moments in your life. The most empowered path to success comes through your experience of failure, which are steps, detours perhaps, but valid steps on your journey. While this is important to feel these events fully, when faced with a challenging situation, try to focus on what you can do best from that situation. Every challenge is ultimately an opportunity to learn and grow, but you will lose your power when you let your feelings of fear replace your ability to act. Empowerment is most deeply cultivated during difficult times. You really don't have to see the whole staircase, but you need to take the first step in life to get to the top. You can't succeed without taking risks in life. So when faced with a big change, take time to look at the positive outcomes from challenging situations. Even in failure or tragedy, you can't take risks without occasionally failing. So think about the last time you thrived under new circumstances and how you built your coping skills and life perspective. Because my everyday book, it says that it is God who arms me with strength and makes my way perfect. So I believe that your imperfect moments provide the perfect trajectory for your growth up the mountains of success you are climbing. but you'll never get there if you let the fear of failing prevent you from even starting to walk. Because without a failure in your life, you will have nothing to improve on. The greatest things in our lives often come from the most intense growing pains. So choose to evolve rather than dissolve under pressure. Please write this down. Resilience to greatness. Resilience to greatness. If I can be honest with you today, I don't know what dreams you have about your life. I don't know how many goals you've set for your future. But here is one thing I know about you. You are destined for greatness. Inside of you, God has put seeds of excellence. Those seeds are supposed to grow and flourish. Many people have become crippled by their past encounters, and some have stepped over other people to get to the top. But I believe that God has better plans for every one of us. Your objective is what you were designed for and the reason why you live today. With God, I believe that we are all destined for greatness as long as we follow his strategy. This is when the growth commences, because discovering your gift and following God's idea will make you understand that you have a purpose to fulfill while you are still alive. My everyday inspiration, Mr. Les Brown, he once said, if you had to die today, at this very moment, at this hour, what dreams, what ideas, what goals, what visions, what talents, what gifts, and what books will die with you? And he also continued that the richest place on this planet is the cemetery, because that's where all the dreams, all the visions, all the goals have been buried. I don't know about you when you listen to this message, but with me, it gave me sleepless nights. And I am proud today to introduce Rise to Greater Heights book before you today. This is a comprehensive guide. Thank you. This is a comprehensive guide to turn your fears into greater success while seizing new opportunities. It is so significant to have a positive mindset, especially under these circumstances. So this book has the potential to completely revolutionize every aspect of your life and career. You can get this book for a family member or a friend who just need that inspiration to face the world with a positive mindset. And by the way, Les Brown wrote the foreword in this book. So you'll be able to explore leadership, empowerment, being purpose-driven, mentorship, coaching, resilience to greatness, mental health, emotional intelligence, single parenting, and spiritual growth. Because you know what? I believe whosoever said that the sky is the limit was wrong. From today on, I, Nompumelelo Riel Kunene, believe that the sky is our point of view. So let's all rise to greater heights. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So to our amazing speakers, thank you so much for being with me in this platform today. Please feel free to share your final thoughts on empowerment to our viewers online before we wrap up. And I'm going to check if we have any questions, so you can just unmute yourself and share your final thoughts on empowerment.
Nompumelelo, I just want to say thank you again. It was pretty amazing to be with all of you here today, and I loved how it all goes back to that fear again, how fear can just paralyze us in our life in every aspect. But it really, I've got a lot of good notes from everybody. And Diana, I love how your affirmation was, I got this. And the funny thing is that that's mine. And I tell the kids, all of my students, I have them break a board, and I do these seminars, and everyone gets a board and they write their name and they write some type of affirmation of when they hit, rock bottom, what is a word or a phrase that helps you get through those. And mine is always, I got this, I got this. So I keep telling myself, I got this, I got this, I got this. And I'll always do that. So I loved how we both have that same affirmation, but it's super important. And just being here again on Pilelo, your book, it's just amazing, and how you carry yourself, everything that you give out to the world. Thank you so much. And I'm so honored to be with all of these strong women here right now. So thank you so much for it. And I guess my final share was, again, of being that strong person and not giving in to those fears, and doing whatever you need to do to stay determined to push through that. And it just takes a little bit to push through it. And then once you're there, you're like, wow, I got this, I can do this. And then it just gives you that fuel to keep moving it forward. But never give up on yourself, and look for those mentors and people like you that will be that example for life, and just give us hope and keep moving forward. So I love it.
Thank you, Sonia. Thank you. Diana, do you have any final thoughts?
Gosh, do I? I mean, there's just so many things racing through my head with just listening to both of you, and Sid. I know he had to go, but it's just, again, I don't know about you, but I feel things when I hear strong things. And, one of the things that we all talk about is pushing through it, right? To prepare everyone and empowering them. One of the final things I can say is pain is part of the process. You will fail your way to success. Failure is part of success. You will not achieve success unless you fail. You will be hurting. There will be blood, sweat, tears, pain, hurt, everything that you can imagine that are just all the ugly, icky feelings that we feel. I want to make sure that everyone is aware that as we all encourage each other and smile and go through the positive side is because we all have something, whether negative or something that happens, that has to program us and push us to that next level, to that positivity level. So don't be afraid of the pain. Feel the pain,
Right on.
process the pain, and be okay with it and say, okay, I got this. It hurt really bad. Oh my God, this hurt really bad. And I'm so sad and I'm so mad and nothing is going right, but I got this. And this is part of the process. Tomorrow, it's going to be better. In 1 minute, it will be better. It is our choice, the way that we move forward with it. That is one of my last final thoughts, is not to be afraid of the pain and the process that goes behind where we want to be in life. And I am just so thankful that I was able to share this time, this hour with such amazing and beautiful people such as yourselves. And I just want to say thank you so much. Happy holidays to you guys.
Thank you so much. Happy holidays to you too, Diana. Thank you so much. Both of your stories, honestly, they move mountains, if I can say. You are amazing. And I believe that the world is really, really going to gain a lot from you. So today, I don't see any questions posted, but I believe that our audience has also gained a lot from you the way I did. So thank you so much for being with us today. So to our viewers online, thank you so much for joining us today at Rise to Greater Heights Network, where you can turn your fears into greater success. I hope you've been inspired, motivated, and ready to rise to greater heights. Thank you so much for joining us. And I hope to see you next week at the same time, same place. Thank you. Merci. Siyabonga.
Thank you.